So first, I would like to thank the William Patterson University Nursing Class of 2016 for inviting me here today to share in this ceremony. I know that this is a very important day for all of you. I know I'm going to give you all whiplash because you're going to be doing this through the whole thing. They can all see, but do turn your heads because it's important stuff up there. So I know that it's a very important day for all of you, and you've been probably waiting for this day since the first day that you've ever learned what a pinning ceremony was. So I hope that you're taking in this moment. I just want you to take a second and really just look around you, because this is the moment that you've been waiting for all of that time, and you worked hard for it, and you should enjoy it. So here I am, and I'm giving this speech. All right? I'll wait for the speech. So when you're asked to give a speech at a ceremony like this, you can't help but feel some pressure. And I'm supposed to give you words of wisdom. I'm supposed to give you words that will motivate you. I'm supposed to give you life-changing advice. And I need to do all of this in a very short period of time. And I need to give you a little bit of wit and humor so I can keep the attention spans going of everybody here, right? So there's no pressure in this speech. But being I pride myself on efficiency, here is my wit and humor for the evening. All right? So, of course. Well, now I'm done. The pressure's off me, right? I'm done. Okay. So, of course, when preparing to write basically anything, you need to do your research. So I did my research before I wrote this speech, and I went out and I surveyed all of my colleagues and my peers and past students, and I asked them for advice. I said, what kind of advice would you give a William Patterson University new graduate if they're coming into our profession? What is it that you would want to tell them? So I had a tremendous amount of responses, and I have to say, I'm not biased or anything, but the William Patterson University alumni did offer you all the best advice. So I do want to share some of that with you today. So think broadly about the people you serve and how you, as a nurse, can help them remain healthy regardless of where you meet them. Hospitals, long-term care, home care, and the community. Be willing to lead healthcare for the future of your communities. That's from Dr. Edna Cadmus, WPU class of 1976. Have patience and understanding. I love this one. Most people don't come to the hospital by choice. You could very well be an integral part of one of the worst days of their lives. Lindsay Elizabeth Voss, class of 2012. Don't let anyone distract you while administering your medications. And if the surgeon in the OR wants to cut on the wrong side, then please throw your body across the patient. Lisa Fisher-Rubin, class of 1995. Treat all of your patients as if they were a family member. Christina Calaswano-Caggiano, class of 1996. Question everything. Kristen Puget-Dupai, class of 1990. And this is my last slide. It's okay to cry. Felicia Elise, class of 2011. Never be afraid to ask questions. There are no stupid questions. Kaylee Alexis Scott, class of 2012. And panicking is a waste of time. Believe in yourself. Carolyn Gamoso, class of 2009. So, with that said, I did get a few that said, if it looks like C. diff and it smells like C. diff, oh God, it's C. diff. And if it's wet and it's not yours, please put on your gloves. All of which I found to be very sound advice. But of course I had to give you my own advice. So my advice is, don't eat yellow snow. It is not lemon flavored. I just thought that was, to prepare you for the evening's blizzard we're supposed to be getting. But that's not really my advice. But seriously. So many of you already know this, but it's been almost 21 years since I was on this campus listening to the speaker at my own pinning ceremony. And right up above, you're going to see that's the actual invitation to my pinning ceremony. And right below that there's Dr. Julie Bliss, my very first instructor, who taught me physical assessment. She taught me foundations. into a group. And that's a picture of me when I'm graduating in a cap and gown, which you'll be wearing. And then you have half of the outfit on right now, okay? So I was young, ambitious, motivated. I was thinner, but that's a whole other story. And most of all, I was scared. That face, I was scared to death. I wanted so badly to do 3 things. I wanted to pass my NCLEX, I wanted to get a job, and I wanted to become a success. Would you all pretty much say you want the same things? So, did I pass my NCLEX? Yes. Did I get a job? Yes. Did I become a success? Well, truthfully, it's not something that I think about on a day-to-day basis, but I guess because I'm here giving a speech to everybody today, I'm kind of thinking that maybe I am. I'm feeling pretty good. So, what is the secret? What is the secret of my success? Well, the secret of my success and the secret of most people's success can be summarized in one word. Do any of you know what that one word is? Anyone?
Yes. Confidence.
Confidence, that's a good one. Anyone else?
Perseverance.
Perseverance, that's another good one. Those are all good words.
Passion.
Passion, that's another good one. Okay, but when I show you what the word is, you're all going to fall over. Failure. It's kind of a very odd word, and it's an odd word to be hanging so big above your heads at your pinning ceremony, right? If you want to capture a photographic moment, this would not be the one. But I want to share with you a few more personal secrets about why I had selected this word and why this word has meant so much to me. You see, during my undergraduate, and these are personal stories that I don't just share with everyone, but during my undergraduate studies, when I was a junior in this program, taking med-surg clinical with Dr. Colleen Barbarito, and I know she's probably already smiling because she knows the story I'm about to tell. Well, I thought that I was a success. I always received good grades. I knew how to study. I could write a decent paper. I was nice to all of my patients, and I was always prepared for clinical. What more did it take? So I handed in my first care plan to Dr. Barbarito. And it came back to me with lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of red ink. And I was devastated. I didn't understand. How could this be? This was a really good paper, and I worked really, really hard on it. And I needed to know why she gave me the grade that I received. And it just didn't make any sense, so I come to the conclusion that she hates me. So I made an appointment to see her in her office, and we were going to have a discussion about why she hates me so much, enough to give me this grade that she did on this paper. And at one point, I literally threw myself on her desk, and I said out loud, "Why do you hate me so much? I thought my care plan was so good, and the only reason I can think of why you didn't give me a good grade is that you hate me." It's a true story, people. I really did this. So Dr. Barbarito and I laugh about this memory all the time now, but at the time this was very serious business for me. Dr. Barbarito sat me down and she challenged me. She challenged me to be better. She challenged me to think harder, to think out of the box, to not hand in cookie cutter work, because cookie cutter work is average. And I gave her what everyone else gave her, and she knew I was capable of more. And she challenged me to challenge myself. And I left her office that day, and I didn't walk around saying that Dr. Barbarito was the meanest professor ever, and she doesn't have a clue and don't take her class. I walked out of there motivated to make my next paper amazing. And guess what? It was. And it felt really, really good. And I felt like a success. And I actually brought a gift for Dr. Barbarito today, because I'm hoping that she runs out of red ink on a lot more students just like me. learn. Who would have thought that this would happen? From the girl who didn't write a good paper, who used up all of Dr. Barbarito's ink, for years later to have the opportunity to publish a book with Professor D'Amico and Dr. Barbarito and have my name on something that they worked on. It's an amazing honor. And I never would have thought that when I was throwing myself on her desk. When I worked my first job as a nurse on a surgical floor, I worked 3 to 11 in a rather large medical center. I thought I knew everything at this point. After all, I could write a fabulous care plan, and I graduated in the Honor Society. And the unit I worked on was a 48-bed post-surgical unit with nursing assistants there that worked longer than I had been alive. Dorothy Williams was the nursing assistant assigned to me most evenings, and I had been off of orientation for about a month, when one night I learned at 11 p.m. that Dorothy went home and she never emptied any of my Foleys, none of my drains, nothing was charted, no I&Os, and I was livid. You can imagine what I thought. Here we go again. Another person that hates me. Dorothy Williams hates me. Why else would she do such a thing to me? What type of person does this? She's done this job for 30 years. It's not like she doesn't know what she's doing. So what on earth could be what could be the reason that she would leave and do none of this work? So I drove home in tears that night at 2 a.m., feeling life was really unfair and feeling like a victim. The next day I met with my boss and Dorothy Williams in my boss's office, and we needed to discuss the previous evening's events. And I proceeded to say that Dorothy Williams was the meanest person alive, and I felt that she should be punished for what she did to me. However, I learned that I never gave Dorothy a report or communicated with her at any point during that entire shift. I apparently just went about doing my own thing, and I had very little concern of the value of Dorothy's work. Dorothy challenged me to be a better nurse. She told me I was a smart girl and I needed to learn a lesson. Now, needless to say, my boss wasn't thrilled about how she went about teaching me that lesson. But nonetheless, I soon picked up on the value of Dorothy Williams' 30 years of nursing assistant experience. And I learned that collaboration means everything. And I learned what mutual professional respect is all about. I learned that I could once again be better. She took me under her wing from then on and taught me how to work as a team. She showed me how to really care about people and do things for my patients that make all the difference in the world to them, which made me a better nurse. So Dorothy Williams helped to make me a success. And here's a picture of Dorothy Williams because you know I invited her to my wedding. She's a very special woman. And I called her last night to let her know that she was going to be part of this speech. And Dorothy is now, she's diagnosed with ovarian cancer, and she's doing well, but she wanted to tell all of you that she really hopes that you do get the message that I'm sending this evening, because she knows that you're going to really value the work of the nursing assistants out there. So throughout my career, I've failed many times. I am not perfect, but you know what? No one is. I've learned to face challenges. I've learned that confidence is good, but overconfidence is deadly. My advice to you is not to fail. My advice, rather, is one of the most important things that I have learned in my career, and it's to take accountability for your failures. Take ownership of your weaknesses. You see, if your failure is not your fault, then you are at risk for failing again and again and again, because you have no control over it. But if you take accountability for it, then you have the control to fix it, and you will become a success. Be open to what others can teach you. Be open to challenges others put upon you. We are all vulnerable to failure, but only few of us will know the sweet smell of success. Why is that? Why isn't everyone a success? Think about it. Don't ever be too proud to learn from others. You may learn from a college professor, or you may learn from a 3 to 11 med-surg nursing assistant. I've learned from my students, I have learned from my patients, I continue to grow every day through the people that come in and out of my personal and professional life. If you're not growing, you're dying. So if you take one thing away from my speech today, please remember that the word fail really stands for first attempt in learning. I wish you all great success in your future, and on behalf of all nurses, I welcome each and every one of you to the most amazing profession on the planet.